Hello and welcome to episode 171 of the video show. Today we're talking about what it takes to make an episode of the video show. So strap yourselves in for this one. So first of all, what I like to do is come up with ideas. This can be just writing some ideas down, or it can be asking people in previous episodes to ask me questions. But basically, when I've come up with an idea, I write down 3 or 4 points I want to cover in that video, and that's my script. If you're a little bit new to video, what I do is I write down a bit more detail of what you're going to do. You can use a whiteboard, like that one, to write notes on, and then you can refer to the notes if you're struggling a little bit to remember what you need to say on the camera. But once you've done it a few times, 3 or 4 points should do, and then you can remember exactly what you need to say. And then what you need to do is set up. So that can involve a camera, a tripod, some lights, and don't forget your microphone as well, because your sound is very, very important when you're shooting video. If your sound's rubbish, forget about it. Nobody's gonna watch it. Then what you need to do is shoot your videos. If you're new to this, it may take a few times. I remember in my first video, it took me pretty much a whole afternoon to make one video. But now I'm shooting this video between 8 and 9 AM. So I expect to get it done and edited by about 9:30 at the latest. But if you're new to it, it does take a lot of practice. The more you do it, the quicker you'll become. And it does depend on what kind of video you're shooting as well, how many different shots you're doing, how many angles, how many cutaways, everything like that. But if it's a simple thing like face to camera, you should be getting it down pretty quickly after a few attempts. Then it comes down to the editing. What I use is Adobe Premiere Pro. This comes as part of the Creative Cloud suite. So you get Premiere Pro, Photoshop, After Effects, Character Animator, and some other stuff that I don't really use. But you can use other editing software as well. So there's Final Cut Pro, there's Filmora, there's loads of different stuff out there for varying price ranges. I pay about £50 a month for the Creative Cloud. That's a really good professional video editing package. But if you want to get started, I'd recommend Filmora or iMovie if you've got a Mac. They're relatively cheap. Well, Filmora's £50 something for a one-off fee, and iMovie is free. I think you need to download it now. But that's the way to get started if you're going to be editing. But editing is very important in the process to make it look a little bit better than everybody else's video when they're just posting it directly from their phone. So if you want to put a little bit more effort in, do some editing. Once we've shot every episode of the video show, we upload it to rev.com. This will give us captions for the video. This will also help us turn it into blogs later on. So when you've got your caption file, should take about an hour depending on the length of your video, but it can take anywhere up to 24 hours, but it costs $1 per minute. Once you've got that, you download the file and then you upload the video to LinkedIn, to Facebook, to YouTube with your caption file to make sure that there's little captions along the bottom like there are going to be here. Can you see them? Can you see them? And then it's easier for people to read it if they're not listening with sound. So that's why I'd recommend rev.com, because so many people now watch videos without sound. It just makes sense to give them that other option. And then with every episode of the video show, I make sure that I post it on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and then I share it to the various groups and pages that I want it to be shared to, where the people I'm targeting will be most likely to watch it. Make sure you're doing that with every single video you make. So don't just share it willy-nilly, don't just post it wherever you feel is right. Make sure you've done a little bit of research into where your audience is watching, what time of day they're watching, and the basic viewing habits. I'll do another video about that in a few weeks to find out a little bit more detail about how you can work that out. But that's it for episode 171 of the video show. I'll see you next time in episode 172. Oh, and if you've got any questions for future episodes of the video show, post them in the comments below.